positive would not happen. So thank you, Mr. Butler. And this is the first time I've actually done this in public, so I have to have some notes. And so I'm going to get a little serious for a moment because this is the whole reason why we're here. We're here to talk about breast cancer, and people don't like using the word breast and or cancer, and now I'm going to put it all into one little soup pot for us to talk about. We know that cancer has a mind of its own, and I'm here to talk about triple negative breast cancer. It's a different kind of a subgroup of breast cancer that I didn't know anything about before until recently. Actually, it was back in 2010, and I didn't know anybody in my family that had cancer. I didn't have any friends that had any cancer. My friends' parents didn't have cancer. I was very lucky to have lived 32 years without knowing anyone with breast cancer, which is very uncommon, as we know. And I heard of a friend who had it in July of 2010, and I thought, oh God, I hope that never happens to anyone in my family. I'm sure it's never going to. Well, actually, 85% of breast cancer is not hereditary, and 1 in 8 women will have invasive breast cancer in their lifetime. And from the stories we've heard tonight, I can tell already that we are all affected by someone who has had breast cancer, whether it is your church mate, your coworker, your sister, your wife, your mother, your grandma, or just an acquaintance. I never thought in a million years I would be standing here today representing a minority and a majority at the same time. The difference between triple negative breast cancer and that of your more commonly known breast cancer is that it's not a hormone-fed cancer. It does not feed off of estrogen, it doesn't feed off of progesterone, and it doesn't feed off of HER2 receptor proteins. So years and years and years of treatment that they had before didn't work on someone like myself. The cancer treatments that I received were not invented until just probably within the last decade. So it is through every one of your donations, through every breast cancer type of support group that you support that goes towards research helped me stand here today. Because if it wasn't for the research that they created to help my kind of breast cancer, I literally would not be here today. Back in 2010, I came to the Lori Butler dinner. I sat right in front, and it was 1 week after that dinner that I discovered a lump in my breast. It was one of 9 tumors. One of the tumors was the size of a golf ball. I meant to bring it up, but we're at a golf outing, and most of you know what the size of a golf ball looks like. That was one of the 9 tumors I had, and it did spread through and into my lymph nodes. And that is one of the signature characteristics of a triple negative, and pardon me for going through my notes here. Triple negative tends to be more aggressive than other types of breast cancers. It's more likely to spread beyond the breast, and it is more likely to reoccur after treatment. The 5-year survival rates also tend to be lower for triple negative breast cancers. Patients, survivors, warriors, I don't even know what to call myself. I'm Amy Dobbs, and I don't like to be defined by anything else other than that. It tends to be a higher grade. There's different grades with cancer. It goes on a scale of 0 to 5. The 0 is the least invasive, and 5 is considered terminal. And most triple negative breast cancer women are diagnosed at already stage 3. So it has already left the tumor site and has already gone into your lymph nodes. African American women are 3 times more likely to have triple negative breast cancer. So although cancer does not discriminate, it definitely has different tendencies. Also, triple negative affects women that are premenopausal because it's not an estrogen, progesterone, or HER2 fed cancer. It has a tendency to affect certain populations, and unfortunately affects a lot of really young women that haven't either been married, they haven't had kids, they're breastfeeding, they're in the prime of their lives, and something like this takes them completely by surprise. I had a breast exam 2 weeks prior to me finding my own tumor. It happened that fast. And so that's another kind of thing that goes along with the triple negative, is that it acts a lot faster. I also want to mention, just outside of triple negative, that men too can receive breast cancer, so don't hesitate to check yourselves in the shower as well. There were approximately, even though it represents 1%, it's still a large number overall. 390 men died last year of breast cancer in comparison to the 40,000 women that had passed away from breast cancer, and this happens to be a growing number year after year. So the reason why I'm standing here today is not to bum you out or to be a buzzkill. It is to segue into the rock stars that we're here representing today. Breast cancer does kill, but it doesn't have to, and it's because of your support, your prayers, your mindfulness, your positive meditations towards people, sending them a card, sending them flowers, telling them that you love them, showing any kind of support that you can, buying things with pink on them, buying anything that supports. I myself received a lot of assistance through the Susan G. I think Roy Butler has done a phenomenal job for our local community, and even though I didn't receive treatment here, I stand behind every survivor and every survivor's family member, because it's without you guys that we wouldn't be able to stand here today, feeling confident that we have a chance to live life again. So, bringing this back to a positive, I'm standing here today to thank you all for showing your support, for standing by your community, for standing by your wife, your grandma, your sister, your coworker, your church member, whoever, because it's that little tiny, tiny bit of support that goes the longest, longest way. And I want to talk to you survivors. It's freaking hell and back, but you're going to do it, and it's going to be okay, and it's going to suck, and it's so not fun. But I'm with you ladies. The hair grows back, the eyelashes grow back, and
we're in it together.
We are all in it together, and it's not a measure of who had it worse or who had a mastectomy and who had reconstruction and what stage you're at. None of that matters. It comes, it goes, but we're all a family, and it's not just the survivors as families. We as a community are a family, and we stick together, and you show your support any way you can. And so these are to the rock stars that waited so long to be here, to be recognized. You guys are exactly why we're here today. We're raising money for you. We love you. We got your back. Your family, your community, we have you. And know that and believe in it and love it. And we're here for you. And thank you, Mr. Butler, for giving us the opportunity.
Thank you, Amy.